Welcome back. Amid simmering tensions and the power tussle, Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena and CM Arvind Kejriwal held an hour-long meeting at the LG residence today. Kejriwal said that he confronted the LG with copies of all the rules and Supreme Court orders that detail the division of power between the governor and the elected government of Delhi. He said that the LG only has power over 3 subjects, that is, the police, public order and land, and he has no rights to take unilateral decisions over subjects like healthcare and education. However, the Lieutenant Governor allegedly said that he had every right as an administrator to take calls, even on those subjects that have been transferred to the Delhi government. Kejriwal lashed out at the governor, calling his orders illegal and unconstitutional. Let's listen in.
3 सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, पुलिस, लैंड और पब्लिक ऑर्डर। संविधान में लिखा है कि ये तीनों सब्जेक्ट्स पे सारे निर्णय लेने का अधिकार एलजी साहब के पास है। इसके अलावा बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स, शिक्षा है, स्वास्थ्य है, बिजली है, पानी है, सड़क है, बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स दिल्ली सरकार, दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार के दायरे में आते हैं। लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर को इंडिपेंडेंटली कोई भी निर्णय लेने का अधिकार नहीं है, ये संविधान पीठ में लिखा हुआ है। इसका मतलब जो दिल्ली के टीचर्स को फिनलैंड जाने से रोका जा रहा है, उसके ऑर्डर्स जो है वो इलीगल है, अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है। ऑर्डर अभी एलजी साहब को दिखाए। एलजी साहब कहते हैं ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की राय हो सकती है। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हूं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर किसी भी सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर किसी भी अफसर को कोई भी आदेश दे सकता है।
The latest flashpoint is the issue of sending teachers from Delhi for an educational trip to Finland. Just ahead of Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena and CM Arvind Kejriwal's first meeting, AAP workers staged a massive protest outside the LG office. The protest comes on the back of AAP's allegations that the LG has demanded a cost-benefit analysis of the Delhi government's plan to send teachers to Finland for training. So these are the issues that have raged on between the 2 power centers in Delhi, the office of the LG and the office of the Lieutenant Governor. Let me welcome joining us here on this program Mr. PDT Achary, constitutional expert who joins us from Delhi. Good evening. Mr. Achary, thanks for joining us here on Mirror Now. As you just heard, the CM of Delhi argues that except for these 3 subjects of public order, land and police, the governor, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, should not be meddling into the administrative affairs. He calls it a travesty of the Constitution, sir.
Well, the Chief Minister of Delhi is very correct when he says that the Lieutenant Governor can take independent decisions in respect of police, land and public order. That is as per Article 239AA, and also the decision of the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court on the NCT versus Union of India case, which was decided a few years ago. And there the Supreme Court had actually very clearly laid down the rules. It had laid down the limits of the power of the Lieutenant Governor, and under which the Lieutenant Governor doesn't have any power with regard to the issues which have been given to the Council of Ministers, except public order, police and land. These are areas where the Lieutenant Governor can decide things on his own. He doesn't have to do or seek the advice of the Council of Ministers. But in respect of all other matters, Lieutenant Governor cannot act except on the advice of the Council of Ministers. So that is the constitutional position. And
but Mr. Achary, sorry to interrupt you here, but it seems there was an order, an executive order that was passed in March 2021 with regards to the powers of the Lieutenant Governor, where the BJP-led NDA pushed through amendments to the 1992 Act in Parliament and whittled down the autonomy of the elected government and gave the LG overarching powers. Are we saying that that amendment is not relevant, does not apply?
See, the point is the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court had laid down the law. Now that law has not been overruled by this amendment. So that means the Supreme Court's decision stands. And that is the law of the land. That is the position. And then moreover, this particular amendment which was passed by the Parliament, that is under challenge in the Supreme Court. But even otherwise, as I said, the decision of the Supreme Court has, the law laid down by the Supreme Court in that particular case has not been overruled or has not been changed by this amendment made by Parliament.
Yes, that is important. That's an important clarification. But I want to come back to you on the issues related to Tamil Nadu as well. It's more or less the same thing there again, where there's been a power tussle between the governor and the state government. What we see in Tamil Nadu is another kind of standoff. There were uproar about the governor's comments on renaming Tamil Nadu as Tamilagam and walking out of Tamil Nadu Assembly. Governor R.N. Ravi has now been summoned to Delhi. This comes after the delegation of DMK leaders submitted a memorandum to the President Draupadi Murmu and apprised her about the conduct of the Tamil Nadu governor in the Assembly. In this letter, Stalin requested the President to ensure that the governor abides by the advice of the state cabinet as given in the constitution, and deviation from the speech violates assembly traditions, and also raised issues arising due to the Governor Ravi's non-cooperation in approving bills. So, in fact, on this issue as well, I would like Mr. Achary to give us a comment on how, things are being viewed at the moment in terms of the division of power there. It's not the same thing as a union territory in Delhi. There are more complications, but here it should be crystal clear. But even in a state like Tamil Nadu, there is this tussle. For example, Mr. Stalin is not amused with the non-approval to bills, the pending bills, and now, of course, the Tamilagam issue has come up.
See, in Tamil Nadu, actually, the latest controversy is that the governor has had skipped one paragraph or two paragraphs from of the address which he gave to the assembly. In that address, he did not read one particular paragraph which referred to the Dravidian model of governance and so on. Now, so far as this issue is concerned, governor is supposed to read the text in full, because it is actually, the address is prepared by the government, which contains the policies and programs of the government. And the constitution requires the governor to address the members of the assembly. And then this is the address that is given by the government, which the governor reads out. It is not the address prepared by the governor. Governor cannot change a comma in that address. He cannot change a word in that address. He has to read it entirely because it is prepared by the government, and it is the government's policies and programs which are to be presented before the House. And the governor is the person designated by the constitution to read it. That is the thing. Therefore, governor is deviating from the constitutional position if he skips a few paragraphs merely because he has some objection to that or something. Of course, another aspect to it is that even if the governor doesn't read it, the whole thing forms part of the record. That is the thing. Whatever has been prepared by the government and authenticated by the governor and distributed among the members of the assembly, it goes on record, and that is the authentic version, and that is the part of the record. So whether the governor skips a particular paragraph or not is immaterial. But the problem is why a governor not reading a particular paragraph in an address merely because he has certain objection to it. That is something which is not acceptable in a constitutional setup.
Right. Right, which is why we wanted your expert opinion on this. Appreciate your joining us here on the program, Mr. Achary. Thanks very much.